Hello everybody, my name is Jason Sutton. I'm a teaching professional at the Dana Rader Golf School, and welcome to episode 1 of the Guru Golf Show. As you can tell, I don't have my normal golf outfit on today, so we're going to talk a little bit about fitness. And I'm joined here with a fitness expert, T.P.I. certified level 2 instructor, Mark Kane. Mark Kane is going to help us today understand a little bit about how some of the swing errors that we find in your golf swings and in my students are affected by physical limitations. So Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you got into golf and how you're helping golfers with their golf swings.
Gladly. Jason, I'm a physical therapist for the past 17 years. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, but I really got interested in Titleist Performance Institute because I thought they did a great job of connecting the dots between swing faults and physical impairments. So hopefully today you're going to give me an idea of a typical swing fault that you see, and I can shed some light on how we can correct that through corrective exercise.
Definitely. What I've found over the years of teaching, I've been teaching well over 18 years, is coming up through the ranks, I thought I could fix everybody. I thought, as long as I can give my students the right prescription, that they can do everything that I'm asking them to do. Well, come to find that they can't. A lot of my students have some inflexibility in certain areas of their body that are really causing them some limitations where they can't move and they can't get into the positions that I want them to get into to really help them improve their golf swing. So we're going to talk about one of probably the biggest things that I see in my students, and one of the biggest swing errors, and it's called early extension. And what we're talking about here is the inability for the student coming down into their downswing to maintain their posture and their spine angle over the ball. So early extension simply means their hips and their pelvis is starting to move forward or towards the golf ball, and their hips are going to move towards the golf ball into their downswing. What this does a lot of times is it creates a inability to swing their arms back into impact. If you've ever found yourself getting trapped or feeling your arms or your right arm stuck behind you, you're probably losing some space into your downswing. So you're not rotating, you're not keeping your hips back, and ultimately your spine angle is straightening up and you're going to hit a lot of shots thin or fat or really top the ball a lot. So what we're going to talk about today is a couple of things that Mark has really helped my students with, and that's really targeting these weaknesses, figuring out where the areas in their body need to improve, and then obviously a plan for improvement. So what do you think about that type of disability for golfers? What do you see weaknesses?
Well, according to Titleist Performance Institute, 65% of all amateur golfers have early extension, so it's plaguing the swing industry. But before we dispense of any corrective exercise, Jason, it's always a great idea to assess first so we can be accurate in terms of what we're seeing and how we can, give the most proper corrective exercises. So one of the best big bang for your buck assessment tools is called the deep overhead squat. And this has been popularized by Craig Cook, a world-renowned physical therapist who's on the advisory board for T.P.I. So, I think it would be a great idea,
happy to do it.
This is a live show, to take you through it. Alright, so we're going to back up here a little bit and get this board out of your way. But I'm going to have you face the camera, please.
Okay.
Alright, so when I'm assessing somebody, I want to get a couple of different views on how they're moving. And with the deep overhead squat, we have a couple of areas of criteria that the golfer has to meet to see if that movement is clean or if we need to work on it. So what I'm going to have you do, Jason, is face forward. Your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. You're going to rest the stick on top of your head. You're going to press the club overhead. All right? So from this position, what I would like you to do is squat as deep as you can 3 times. Keep your heels on the ground. All right? So if we're looking at Jason from the front, we're going to see if there's any lateral weight shifting. Do his knees buckle in? Do his feet turn out? Now, Jason, if you could turn and face that way, please. From a side view, we get some really good information in terms of the depth of the squat. So you're going to continue squatting, Jason. So can Jason get his hips below his knees? Can he keep the stick above his head or at the level of his feet? And as you can see, Jason doesn't quite pass the criteria for the deep overhead squat movement. One of the things that we see is his depth of squat isn't quite where we want it to be. But the thing that I noticed the most is that you lean forward a little bit too much. All right, so we need to take a look at the entire body and kind of get an idea of what's causing this forward lean. Now, prior to going on camera, I had the opportunity to look at Jason's ankle mobility, and it was no problem. His ankle mobility is not limiting his deep squat. But what we found is that Jason's upper body, thoracic spine, shoulder mobility, that's the culprit in pitching him forward. So what we want to do is develop a really simple corrective exercise strategy to work on these weak links so that he can improve his deep squat, which is going to help with his early extension. Okay?
So what will we do?
All right.
What's the plan?
All right. So one of the things you have to do first is address soft tissue limitations. All right. So simple tool that we can use as I move off camera is called a foam roller. And to be honest with you, any golfer needs to have this simple tool in their arsenal. A lot of golfers focus so much on the swing, taking lessons, that they don't necessarily put an investment into their body. But this is a $25 piece of foam that is invaluable at improving soft tissue, or fancy word, myofascial mobility. All right? So anyways, what I'm going to have Jason do is I'm going to go over and teach him how to roll his mid to upper back, or his thoracic region. All right? So I've gone over ad nauseum with Jason on this maneuver. All right? So this would also be beneficial for people who suffer from poor posture. In today's society, I meet a lot of golfers who spend a lot of time on the computer. So this is going to be very helpful at improving your computer posture. So what you're going to be doing is rolling back and forth from the top of the shoulders to the mid-back. All right, we would stay away from the lower back here since it's very uncomfortable. All right, as you notice, Jason has his elbows together. That's going to slide the shoulder blades apart from his spine so he can roll out those shoulder blade muscles that may be limiting his mobility with the deep squat. And usually 10 to 15 rolls should do the trick. Okay? All right. So this would be, number one part of the corrective exercise strategy. Okay. What we can also do is actually turn the assessment into the corrective exercise. So if you want to improve somebody's deep squat, well, why don't we practice it? But with the help of a 2x4, I'm going to elevate Jason's heels. That's going to assist him in getting a little bit lower. All right, so I'm going to have Jason get to a deep squat. And what we really need to focus on here is getting the arms up to about 10 or 11 o'clock. And as Jason raises his right arm up, he needs to follow that with his head. This way we're getting some good thoracic rotation there. All right, you're going to maintain that arm position. Follow that arm. Now look straight ahead, Jason, and come back up. All right? So we're learning how to do the deep squat from the bottom up.
That's not as easy as it looks.
I'd like you to do that a couple more times because we're going to focus on maybe a couple of things that people have difficulty doing. All right? So to have really strict form there, I need that elbow straight. Hold that arm there. All right? Now do the opposite with the left. Follow it. Keep it here. All right? Now look straight ahead. Come on up. All right? So when you do corrective exercise, it's really important to put some effort into it. After 10 reps, I can guarantee you're going to see some golfers sweating. So this could actually be a very good warm-up. How does that feel, Jason?
Yeah, it's good, but I can definitely feel the tightness in my back.
Yep.
The weakness part of, my problem, my swing is I have, sometimes get a little short with my shoulder rotation, and definitely causes me some trouble in my swing.
Correct. So that's two examples of some ways that we can address the deep squat. There's many other versions of corrective exercises to help you, but if you focus on those two simple things, I think that can be very helpful at enhancing what the golf professional wants. In this case, preventing early extension.
Yeah, early extension is really huge because, As we know, you see the good players have that ability to get their hips separated from their shoulders in their downswing. And if we've got students that are not able to create that separation, then it's really difficult for you not to come over the top or really swing from the outside, because your shoulders are always going to be trying to catch your hips. So these exercises, and with the I'm already out of breath, with the help of Mark, and my students have really seen some great improvement in their golf swings, and it's helping me to be able to make you guys make the changes that I want you to make. All right, well, thanks for being on my first episode, Mark. I think that was very helpful, and we hope to see you guys again on the lesson tee.